What if one of the world's most dangerous rivalries was never a single war, but a chain reaction decades in the making? A struggle shaped by coups, revolutions, oil, foreign armies, and fear, spreading from capitals to deserts, from embassies to battlefields. For more than 70 years, Iran and the United States have faced each other as rivals, enemies, and shadows in each other's history. And between them stand the Arab states, hosts to American bases, targets of proxy conflict, and battlegrounds of regional power. This story also runs through Saddam Hussein, whose war against Iran left wounds that still shape the Middle East today. To understand why missiles fly, militias rise, and threats echo across Arab lands, we have to begin at the source. The roots of this conflict reach back to 1953, when Iran stood at a political crossroads in the age of empire and Cold War. Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh moved to nationalize Iran's oil, claiming the country's wealth for its own people. That decision alarmed Britain and the United States, who saw oil, instability, and Soviet influence as part of the same danger. So intelligence services moved in, planning one of the most consequential covert operations in modern Middle Eastern history. Mossadegh was removed, unrest spread, and the balance of power inside Iran changed by force rather than by ballot. The Shah returned with strong American backing, and for many Iranians, foreign interference became a national memory that would not fade. Under the Shah, Iran modernized rapidly, expanded militarily, and grew into one of Washington's most important regional allies. But beneath that image of progress was repression, surveillance, fear, and a state determined to silence opposition. Clerics, workers, students, and ordinary citizens began pushing back, and resistance gathered force across the country. By 1979, the pressure had become a revolution, and the streets of Iran filled with voices demanding the monarchy's end. Ayatollah Khomeini returned from exile to lead a new Islamic republic, one built in direct opposition to the old order. Then came the embassy takeover, an event that shattered relations between Iran and the United States before the eyes of the world. American hostages were held for 444 days, and the crisis transformed political hostility into lasting enmity. From that point forward, the two countries were no longer uneasy partners. They had become open adversaries. Just 1 year later, another force entered the story: Saddam Hussein, ruler of Iraq, and soon Iran's most immediate enemy. In 1980, Iraq invaded Iran, expecting quick gains against a country still reeling from revolution. Instead, the conflict hardened into a brutal 8-year war, fought across trenches, cities, and shattered borderlands. The war consumed hundreds of thousands of lives, scarred civilians, and brought devastation to families on both sides. Chemical weapons made the horror even darker, leaving a legacy of trauma that still haunts Iranian memory. During much of the war, Washington leaned toward Iraq, seeing revolutionary Iran as the larger strategic threat. Arab Gulf monarchies, especially Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, also supported Iraq, fearing Iran's revolution might spread. For Iran, the lesson was unforgettable. In moments of danger, America and key Arab powers could stand together against it. As the region's importance grew, the United States expanded its military presence across the Arab Gulf. Naval power anchored in Bahrain helped secure shipping lanes and project American force across the region. Major air power was positioned in Qatar, where vast bases became central to U.S. operations in the Middle East. Kuwait, too, became a vital military platform, supporting deployments, logistics, and large-scale war planning. Across Gulf states, ports, airfields, and defense partnerships formed a wide network of American strategic access. Washington described this system as regional security. Tehran saw something far more threatening: encirclement. With American forces near its borders and fleets in nearby waters, Iran increasingly believed it was being surrounded. So Iran adapted, building missiles, naval tactics, and unconventional tools designed to challenge stronger enemies indirectly. From that strategy came a wider regional doctrine: fight far from home and extend influence beyond national borders. In Lebanon, Iran built ties with Hezbollah, creating one of the most powerful armed non-state allies in the region. In Iraq, it cultivated militias and political networks that gave Tehran influence inside a neighboring Arab state. In Syria, Iran moved to defend Bashar al-Assad, preserving a crucial link in its regional alliance system. In Yemen, support for the Houthis gave Iran another front from which pressure could be applied against Gulf rivals. This network of allies, weapons, and local partners gave Iran reach without requiring direct conventional war. Iran presented this as resistance. Its rivals called it destabilization. Either way, it became central to Tehran's strategy. The message was clear. If Iran could be threatened from many directions, it would build the means to answer from many directions too. So why does Iran operate across Arab countries? Because those states sit at the heart of the region's power struggle. Many host American bases and security systems, making them, in Iran's eyes, part of the structure of U.S. pressure. They are also part of Iran's rivalry with Saudi Arabia and other Gulf monarchies, competing for influence. Proxy warfare offers Iran leverage, pressure its enemies, shape events, and deter attack without triggering full-scale war. Ideology matters too. The Islamic Republic frames its role as resistance against foreign domination and hostile regional orders. Influence in Arab states also provides bargaining power, military depth, and political leverage in a volatile region. But these calculations are not abstract. They are lived by civilians in shattered neighborhoods and divided societies. Across the Arab world, cities have absorbed the consequences of rivalries that often began far beyond their streets. Then, in 2003, another turning point arrived, when the United States invaded Iraq and overthrew Saddam Hussein. The fall of Saddam removed Iran's old enemy, but it also removed the barrier that had long limited Iran's reach into Iraq. Iran moved quickly, building ties to parties, militias, and religious networks in Iraq's new political landscape. The result was a shifting balance of power inside Iraq, where influence no longer belonged to one side alone. American soldiers and Iran-linked armed groups increasingly found themselves operating in a tense arena. Iraq became one of the clearest examples of indirect conflict between Washington and Tehran inside an Arab country. Then, the nuclear issue added another layer of danger, raising fears of weapons development and wider regional escalation. Sanctions, diplomacy, and economic pressure became weapons of another kind, targeting Iran without open war. The 2015 nuclear deal briefly suggested that confrontation might be managed through negotiation rather than escalation. But when the United States withdrew from the deal in 2018, tensions rose sharply once again. Attacks at sea, threats in the Gulf, and rising instability showed how quickly pressure could spread across the region. Then came one of the most dangerous moments of all, the killing of Qasem Soleimani in early 2020. The strike in Baghdad removed one of Iran's most powerful commanders and sent shockwaves through the region. For many in Iran, Soleimani symbolized defense and power. His funeral became a public expression of anger and loss. Iran responded with missile strikes on American positions in Iraq, bringing the two countries close to direct war. The aftermath showed just how dangerous the confrontation had become, even without a full-scale invasion. Once again, the Middle East remained a map of flashpoints, where rivalry, memory, and military power all converged. This conflict was built over decades: a coup, a revolution, a war, foreign bases, proxy networks, sanctions, and retaliation. And its deepest cost has been carried by ordinary people across Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and the Gulf. Until the forces driving this rivalry are confronted, the struggle between Iran, the United States, and the Arab world is unlikely to end.